After a long day at the office, I walked into my home and immediately noticed my parents sitting in the living room, patiently waiting for me. The sight confused me as I usually arrive home late, well after they had gone to bed. This time, however, they were awake, prompting me to approach them. Wine. Mom, Dad, you are still awake? They both looked at me and stood up. My father approached me gently, placing his hand on my shoulders. Mr. Kim. Wine, my daughter? Confused, I couldn't help but notice the unusual seriousness in my father's demeanor. Typically, he engaged with me in a light-hearted manner. Wine. What happened, Dad? Mr. Kim, I want you to fulfill my one wish. Will you? Perplexed, I stared at him with confusion. Wine. What happened, Dad? Why are you talking like this? What wish you are referring to? Mr. Kim, I have never asked anything from you before, right? But today I want a promise that you will fulfill my wish. Wine. Alright, I promise, but first tell me what wish you are talking about. Mr. Kim took a deep breath. Mr. Kim, I want you to get married. Shocked and in disbelief, I looked at him, my past heartbreak flooding my thoughts. I hadn't moved on because I truly loved that person. Mr. Kim, Wine, please, I know you will not disappoint me, and I want to tell you that Mr. John is my business partner, and I have known them and their family for so long. They are very good people, although they are mafias, but their son is blind. Confused and in disbelief, you looked at him. Wine, blind? Mrs. Kim, yes, he met with an accident last year, and there he lost his eyesight, but he is taking medication and he will be fine. Mr. Kim, I know you will not reject him just because his blindness. Right, Wine? You looked at him, still emotionally and mentally unready for any relationship. Mr. Kim, Wine, will you marry him, please? Will you fulfill my wish, please? Feeling torn, you don't know what to do, but you cannot go against your father as you truly love him, and for the first time he asked you for something. Wine. Alright. Mr. and Mrs. Kim's face brightened and their smiles widened. Mr. Kim excitedly. Thank you. Thank you so much, my daughter. Wait, let me show you his photograph. Wine. It's okay, Dad. I don't want to see. I mean, he must be good because you chose him for me. You forced a smile and went to your room. Closing the door, you sat on the bed in silence, grappling with your emotions. Feeling emotionally overwhelmed and conflicted after agreeing to your father's wish, you sought solace in your room. You opened the drawers beside your bed and retrieved some photographs. As you gazed at them, tears welled up in your eyes. The images captured moments with your ex, evoking a flood of memories and emotions. The bittersweet nostalgia weighed heavily on you, reflecting the lingering pain and reluctance to move on from a past relationship you had truly cherished. Despite your efforts to move on, you find yourself unable to escape the deep and enduring love you feel for your ex. The struggle to let go is evident in your emotions as the memories continue to hold a significant place in your heart. Despite the passage of time, the profound connection you shared with your ex remains, leaving you grappling with the persistent and unyielding nature of your feelings. At Jeon's mansion, Mr. Jeon, I have fixed your wedding. Jungkook looked shocked in disbelief. Response. Jungkook, what? What are you saying, Dad? Mr. Jeon, I know you would not agree, so I already fixed it with Mr. Kim's daughter. Don't argue, Jungkook. You know I will never do anything wrong for you. Jungkook, but Dad, please try to understand. Why are you destroying any girl's life? Who will agree to marry me, huh? Nobody wants to marry a blind person. Mrs. Jeon, she already agreed to do so, Jungkook. Jungkook, she must be forced to do so, right? Or you offered so much money or something else. Mr. John triggered respond firmly. Mr. John, shut up, Jungkook. What are you saying? She knows that you are blind and she belongs to a very wealthy family. So why would she do anything for money? You are just thinking too much. I have fixed your wedding and it's final. Jungkook is still not ready as he doesn't want to ruin any girl's life. He knows he won't be able to take responsibility properly due to his eyesight. Another reason is that he loves someone else, but he never shared it with his family except his sister Sarah. He loves his ex, with whom he broke up last year, aware that his father won't understand him, and being aware of his father's stubbornness, he feels trapped with no other option. Jungkook, trapped by his father's decision, felt helpless and conflicted. The impending wedding carried the weight of unspoken emotions, especially his enduring love for his ex. In the shadows of the approaching union, Jungkook yearned for understanding, a bridge between his family's expectation and the authenticity of his heart. On the wedding day, in the bridal room, nerves gripped you tightly as you sat unready for the impending wedding. In the hushed confines of the bridal room, nervous energy danced through you, creating a symphony of anticipation. As you sat wrestling with your own doubts, your parents entered, their eyes instantly missing at the eternal vision you presented in the bridal dress. Your dad approached with a tenderness that spoke volumes. He kissed your forehead, a silent reassurance that carried the weight of a lifetime of love. Blessings spilled from his lips, each word imbued with hope and emotions, forming an invisible cloak around you. Stepping into the wedding aisle with your father, you kept your gaze fixed downwards, the weight of uncertainty settling in the pit of your stomach, each step echo in the rhythm of your apprehensive heartbeat. However, as you approached the altar, a peculiar sensation brushed against your senses, a fragrance, a familiar and comforting, wafted through the air. Intrigued, you summoned the courage to lift your head. When you looked up, you couldn't believe your eyes. It was your long lost love standing there as the groom. Your heart raced and tears filled your eyes instantly. Seeing him after so long overwhelmed you with surprise and emotions. The bridal room, once tense, now became a space where your unexpected reunion unfolded, turned a scripted event into heartfelt, personal moment. As you gazed at him, a whirlwind of feelings and questions flooded your mind. You wanted to ask him so much, understand how he ended up here. On the other side, Jungkook sensed a familiar fragrance, but dismissed it, convincing himself it couldn't be her. When it was time to exchange rings, your hands trembled with emotional turmoil. Placing the ring in Jungkook's hand, a shiver ran through you, and he also felt something familiar. However, he chose to ignore these feelings. Despite the unspoken connection, both of you exchanged rings, navigating a moment that resonated with a mix of emotions and unanswered questions. Priest, do you, John Jungkook, accept Kim Wine as your lawfully wedded wife? Jungkook, so much surprised, felt his heart race upon hearing the bride's name. He was silent, torn between emotions, struggling to accept that it could be Wine. He tried convincing himself that he might have heard the wrong name. Jungkook, I do. When the priest continued asking you to accept Jungkook as her lawfully wedded husband, Wine, with teary eyes, said, I do. In that moment, Jungkook, overwhelmed with emotions, got sure that it was Wine. Jungkook POV. It's Wine. It's my Wine. His eyes turned teary and a tear escaped, realizing the truth. Priest. You both are now husband and wife. Groom can kiss the bride. Jungkook and Hugh stood before each other, the air pulsating a myriad of emotions. Jungkook, still processing the reality of you being his bride, felt a mixture of disbelief and longing. Wine, teary-eyed yet hopeful, carried the weight of a past love. Jungkook took your hand and pecked it. He was still surprised and don't know how to react. Jungkook's POV. I don't know how to react right now. My love of life is right in front of me, dressed as a bride, but I don't know how to face her after everything I did to her. Following the heartfelt wedding ceremony, Jungkook and Wine, now united as husband and wife, sought blessings from their parents before heading to the Jeon mansion. As you stepped into the Jeon mansion, the walls seemed to echo with the silent whispers of your newly formed bond. The journey that began with the unexpected twists and turns had now led you to this shared home where the chapters of your lives were poised to unfold. As you both entered the room, Sarah, Jungkook's sister, followed. Sarah cheerfully, "Hello Unni, you look so beautiful." You looked in her direction and managed to force a smile. Sarah, "Unni, can I please take my brother outside for 5 minutes? I want to talk to him, please." You looked at her and nodded with a smile. Sarah took Jungkook with her, leaving you alone in the room. Your eyes wandered and you noticed a letter beside the bed addressed to Miss Kim. Curiosity and apprehension mingled as you opened it. Letter. I am sorry that you have to marry me, but I want to tell you that I love someone else and I can't love you. But I promise that I will try to do my responsibility properly and will respect you truly. He told a worker in his house to write it as he was speaking, and the worker was writing. Your eyes again turned teary, realizing he loved someone else, potentially the reason for your past breakup. You felt heartbroken. Meanwhile, in another corner of the mansion, Sarah, "Oppa, you know Uni is so beautiful, and please, I know you love someone else, but please try to move on and don't be rude with her, alright?" Jungkook was just listening to her as she didn't know that it is Wine whom he loves. Sarah, are you listening? Jungkook, yeah, and do you think I'm rude? Sarah, of course, no doubt. You used to be so nice before, but now you seem so rude and heartless. Jungkook raised his eyebrow and didn't reply further. After this, time skips to night. You saw him sitting on the bed and you decided to sleep on the couch after reading the letter, but you saw that there is no couch in the room, so you decided to ask him, Wine, why is there no couch in your room? Jungkook, huh? You can sleep here on the bed. Wine, are you sure? Jungkook nodded. You sat on the bed and gathered the courage to ask. Wine, a little nervous. How do you lose your eyesight? Jungkook didn't reply, triggering a mix of frustration and concern. Wine, why are you not replying? Hello, I'm talking to you. Jungkook coldly, I don't want to talk about this. You felt a pang of sadness as he didn't share it with you, remembering a time when he used to confide everything. Despite the silence, you accepted his decision, your heart weighed down by unspoken questions and a sense of longing for the connection you once held. You laid down silently, maintaining a safe distance and turning your face in another direction. A sudden noise of glass breaking jolted you, and you quickly got up, looking in Jungkook's direction. He was struggling to reach his phone, accidentally pushing a glass off the bedside table. You retrieved his phone and handed it to him, accepting his apology for disturbing you. Wine, it's okay, you can ask me for help. As he lay back on the bed, you intended to go back to your side when a thought struck you. What if he woke up and the broken glass hurt his feet? You decided to clean it first. In the process, a piece of glass pricked your hand and you hissed in pain. Jungkook, concerned, heard your discomfort and got up. Jungkook, what happened? Wine, nothing. Ignoring the pain, you picked up the glass, wrapped it in polythene and threw it in the dustbin. Jungkook, sensing something was off, slowly put his feet down to check and found no glass. Jungkook, Wine? You came near him. Wine, what happened? Jungkook made you sit and checked your hands. Jungkook, where did you get hurt? You were just looking at him, appreciating his care, but the letter's hurt lingered. Wine. It's nothing, I'm fine. Jungkook concerned. It's not fine, it must be painful. Wine in mind. Yes, it's painful. A lot, but not on my finger. My heart is paining. He took the first aid and attempted to apply ointment. Despite his impaired eyesight, he tried his best and somehow managed. Wine. Thanks. You both laid down, Jungkook thinking. She cleared the glass just for me? My wine hasn't changed. She cared for me even today after everything I did in past. Flashback. He was your boyfriend and the bond you shared was inseparable. You, Jungkook, Mark and Lily form a close-knit group of friends navigating through college days with shared laughter and companionship. Love blossomed between you and Jungkook, leading to a heartfelt proposal and a beautiful journey of dating. As college came to an end, your connection with Jungkook deepened. On your birthday, anticipation filled the air as you eagerly awaited his presence. Standing there since 9 a.m., the clock ticked on until it reached 2 p.m. Despite numerous attempts to reach him, your calls went unanswered and a sense of unease settled in. Finally, around 4 p.m., Jungkook's call came through. Wine. Jungkook, are you fine? Where are you? Why weren't you picking up my calls? I was really getting worried. Please come fast. I'm waiting for you. I won't cut the cake until you arrive. Your uneasiness transformed into momentary relief upon hearing his voice, but what followed shattered the fragile peace. Jungkook. Wine. Actually, his voice, once comforting, now carried an unexpected weight, breaking slightly. Wine. Cookie, what happened? Jungkook. I won't break up, Wine. You struggled to comprehend, hoping it was a cruel misinterpretation. Wine. Cookie, I think I heard something wrong. Can you repeat? Jungkook was silent for a moment before delivering the devastating words. Jungkook. I won't break up, Wine. I don't want to be with you. Your world crumbled, your heart skipped a beat, and tears flowed uncontrollably. The gift he presented on your birthday was a painful farewell, leaving you heartbroken and hurt. Actually, truth was that when he was coming to meet you, he bought so many gifts for you. His car was filled with gifts, chocolates and flowers. He was actually planning to propose you for wedding. He was all ready and so happy for your birthday. He is a mafia, but for you, he was all a gentleman and love and pampers you a lot. For him, you were his world. He was driving when suddenly a dog came in front of his car. He quickly pressed the brake, but brake was failed. So he quickly turned his car in another direction and got into a very worse accident. People nearby called the ambulance. In John's mansion, Mr. John got a call. Mr. John. Who is this? Receptionist. Hello, your son got into an accident. Please come to City Hospital. Mr. John's eyes widened when Mrs. John came. Mrs. John. What happened, honey? Why are you looking stressed? Mr. John. Jungkook got into an accident. Mrs. John's heart skipped a beat and she started panicking. Mr. John. We need to go to hospital. Fast. Sarah was standing behind Mrs. John and she started crying and she said that she will also go to hospital. Everybody went to hospital and Jungkook's condition was serious. Mrs. John crying. My Jungkook, will he be fine, honey? Mr. John consoled Mrs. John. Mr. John. Yeah, he will be fine. He is the son of the Mafia king. He is so strong. When doctors came outside. Mrs. John. Is my Jungkook fine? Doctor. Yeah, he is out of danger, but... Mr. John concerned. But... Doctors. He got injured at his head, due to which he lost his eyesight. I mean, he may lose. Everybody's eyes widened. Mr. John. Wait, what are you saying, doctor? There must be any solution. Any surgery, any medicine, any treatment. Tell me, my son cannot be blind for the rest of his life. Doctors. Yes, it can, but I can't say when. But we will give him medication so in future he will be fine. I mean, there are chances that his eyesight will come back. Mrs. John, where is my Jungkook? I want to meet him. Doctor, you cannot meet him, ma'am. Wait for some time. Mr. John, we will meet him now. And that's final. Do you have any problem, doctor? Doctor scared. No. Mr. John, Mrs. John and Sarah went inside and saw him. His head was covered with bandage. Mrs. John and her family were crying by thanking God that their son is at least fine and out of danger. When Jungkook woke up and he saw his family and his mom and sister hugged him, and Mr. John also asked him about his situation and accident. So he explained everything about the brake fail and all. Then his family told him about the condition that he will be blind. He got so shocked and worried, but the first thought that came into his mind after knowing this was of you. He thought that if he will marry you, then he would not be able to fulfill his responsibilities and he would be burdened to you. So he decided to break up with you. But when he called you and did break up, he heard your sobs. He was also crying so badly and cut the call. When you spoke that you heard something wrong, tears flowed from his eyes and he somehow controlled his sobs. At that time, his sister Sarah was with him and saw his conditions. When he got to know that he would get blind in some time, he took his wallet in which he always kept your pic with him. He was just seeing it and tears were flowing from his eyes and he was apologizing to you. He slept by keeping your pic on his chest. Next day when he woke up, he felt his eyes were getting little blurred. So his parents quickly called the doctor, but he saw your picture as he knew that he would get blind in some time, so he wanted to just remember your face. But when doctors came, until then he already became blind. And when doctors examined and said that he can't see now, but he should take medicine and maybe sooner or later he will be fine. Flashback ended. Next day when you woke up, you saw Jungkook coming out from the bathroom with wet hairs and his stick for support. He was looking so handsome. You were just looking at him when a flashback of you and Jungkook came. Flashback. You and Jungkook were walking and you both saw an old couple. Jungkook smiled. One day you and me would also be like this. And we will be coming here at this place for a walk together when we would be old. Wine smiling. We need to wait for that time. Firstly, we need to get married. Jungkook nodded and smiled. Jungkook, it will be so romantic to wake up and see each other's face and then again cuddle for long. Wine. Yeah, and seeing you come out of the bathroom all wet hairs. Wow. And then I will wake up and hug you. You said while imagining him while looking up in the sky. Jungkook looked at you and raised an eyebrow and smirked. Jungkook, am I not handsome now? Wine. No, I mean you will look more handsome then. Jungkook smirking. Oh really? You blushed and turned your face in another direction as you know that he is gonna tease you for this even in future. Flashback ended. At present, wine in mind. Wow, what a fate. We are married as we imagined and now you are right in front of me with wet hairs, obviously looking so handsome. But things have really changed. I cannot hug you now. We both are married but not emotionally together. We both are in love, but I am in love with you and you are with someone else. Your eyes got numb by thinking this when Sarah came. Sarah. Oh wow, Oppa, you are looking so handsome. Unni, you are awake? Come, mom made breakfast and she is calling both of you. Jungkook coldly. Why? I mean, chef didn't came today. Sarah. No, he is on leave for today. Unni, come with me, I want to talk to you. You nodded and went behind her. Sarah. Unni, did Oppa talk to you about anything? Why? No, why? Sarah, I just wondered that did he talk to you about his relationship or not? Wine. Relationship? You were confused. Sarah. Oh, don't worry, it was past relationship, nothing serious. I was just telling that maybe Opa will need some time because he had not moved on properly. So I was just saying to please try to understand him also. He's really nice person and very responsible. Yeah, but sometimes he becomes so cruel and heartless person as he belongs to Mafia world. And from the day he lost his eyesight, he became so silent. He don't even talk much and even behave rude sometimes. But you don't worry, he will not scold his wife. You nodded, but inside you were feeling hurt, as you think that after your breakup he was in relationship with someone else. Fine. Can I ask you something, Sarah? Sarah, yes, of course. Wine concerned. How he lost his eyesight? Sarah, he lost it in an accident due to brake fail, but he is still hiring a detective to investigate about it. That who did the brake fail, but still no response from detective. You nodded while understanding the situation when Sarah went for breakfast. Wine thinking, due to brake fail? I am also suspicious now. And what kind of detective he hired who didn't able to find out about this case from past year? You called Lily your best friend who is a detective. Wine on call. Hello, Lily? Lily. Hello, Wine. How are you? Are you fine? Wine. Yeah, I'm fine. Lily. How are you living with that person who broke you and your heart a year ago? Did you talk to Jungkook and ask the reason why he broke up? Wine. No, Lily, and I don't care why he broke up. It's not much important to me now. Lily sighed. Lily. Yeah, acha, tell me why you called me. Wine. Actually, I want your help. I want you to find out about Jungkook's accident. You told everything what Sarah told about his accident. Lily. Alright, Wine, I will find it out and come to my place tomorrow morning. I will give you all the information. Wine. This much fast? I mean, will you be able to find out so quickly? Lily. Yeah, of course. Don't worry and take care. Wine. You too, and thank you, Lily. You cut the call. Time skips to lunch. You and Jungkook were alone at house as Sarah went to college and Mr. and Mrs. Kim went to meet their old friend. You both were in living room when Jungkook asked you, Jungkook, should I order something? Wine looked at him. Leave it. I will cook something. Jungkook, do you know how to cook? I mean, you didn't like cooking. Wine. I have learned a lot of things in past year. Jungkook went silent after hearing you and you cooked ramen as it was of both of your favorite. Jungkook was about to eat the hot ramen when you stopped him. Wine. It's hot. You will burn your mouth. Wait. You started feeding him ramen while he was all silent. Jungkook in mind. Wine. I hurted you, but still, why are you taking my care? After 4 to 5 bites, Jungkook spoke. Jungkook, I guess now it must be cool. So let me eat by myself and you also eat. Otherwise your food will get cold. You both started eating and there was an awkward silence. Jungkook in mind. I never imagined that there would be an awkward silence between us. When Mark entered and saw you both, he got so shocked when he entered inside. He met you and you got so happy by seeing Mark after 2 years. Actually, when you were in last year, after Jungkook proposed you, Mark told everyone that he is going to US to continue his further studies and he returned back after Jungkook's accident and now he is working in Mafia as Jungkook's right hand. Mark went to US just 1 week before because his uncle who lived in US was having some health issues, so to meet him, Mark went to US, but in last 1 week, Jungkook and Wine got married. Mark surprised. Wine? After so long? How you came here? You and Jungkook were silent when Sarah entered. Sarah smiling. Mark, you know the latest news? Mark, no, what's that? Sarah, John Jungkook and Kim Wine got married. Mark was taken aback. He was so shocked. Sarah smiling. You are shocked, right? I know you must be thinking that Jungkook Oppa loves someone else and he will not marry, right? But he finally agreed to marry her. It's amazing, right? Mark looked at both of them confused. While there was an awkward silence when Sarah realized that she spoke a lot and she should not have repeated that things again. You were obviously feeling hurt whenever you hear it, but somehow control your emotions. Jungkook knew that this is hurting you. Jungkook triggered. Sarah, go back to your room. Jungkook's expression changed and he was looking so angry and scary. Sarah, but Oppa, Jungkook shouted, can't you hear me? Sarah, why? Why should I go? And I already told everything to Ni that you loved someone else. And why are you being so triggered? I know you gave that letter to her. I saw that in your room. Mark, which letter? Sarah told everything. It was becoming tough for you to control your emotions, and all this was eventually hurting you. Why? I have some important work, so excuse me. You forced a smile and left from there. Jungkook was now getting triggered because of Sarah and her immaturity, because he knows that it is hurting you, and he knows that you must be misunderstanding that there is any other girl in his life, which is not true. He wrote that letter because he didn't knew that the bride is Wine, and Sarah don't know that the girl Jungkook loves is no other than Wine. Time skips to night when Jungkook decides that he will tell you the truth that girl Sarah was talking about is none other than you. Jungkook. Wine, actually I want to tell you that the girl Sarah was talking about was... You stopped him. Wine coldly. I don't want to listen anything, Jungkook. I mean, it's your life. You can do anything. You can love any person you want. I don't care, and who am I to ask you? Leave it, and no need to tell anything because I don't want to listen. Jungkook sighed and you both laid on the bed when you noticed that your phone is switched off, so you put it on charge and slept. You were obviously hurt, but now you are trying to accept the situation, so you don't want to know about his love because obviously it will only hurt you to know. Next day, you woke up. You were going to your friend's house when Sarah entered. Sarah, Unni, are you going somewhere? Wine, yes, I was going to meet my best friend. Jungkook was also listening everything as he was present there in the room. Mark, oh, which friend, huh? He smirked just to tease you because he thought that you are going to meet any guy friend. Wine, yeah, I'm going to meet Lily, alright? You chuckled and went from there. When you reached outside her apartment, you saw that police car was standing there, and when reached inside, you saw so many people standing at the door of her house. Wine worried. Excuse me, what happened? Why are you all standing here? Neighbor, a young girl who lived here got murdered last night. Your heart skipped a beat when you heard this and you quickly went inside the house, but police stopped you when you saw her lifeless form covered with blood. You were stunned, staring at your friend Lily's lifeless form, the room filled with an unsettling silence. The air seemed heavier as you struggled to comprehend the cruel reality before you. The police questioned you about your connection with Lily and if you had any information that might help them in their investigation. The news of her murder left you in a state of shock and disbelief. Your heart felt like a heavy storm, an intricate blend of grief, shock, and disbelief. The news of Lily's murder echoed in your mind, a haunting melody that refused to fade. Every beat of your heart carried the weight of sorrow, and the air around you seemed thick with the pain of loss. As you stood before Lily's lifeless form, your mind raced with memories of your friendship, Lily's vibrant laughter, the shared secrets, and the countless moments that now felt like fragile fragments of the past. The room once filled with their laughter was now a silent testament to the cruel twist of fate. The police inquiries blurred in a background as you grappled with the harsh reality. The image of Lily covered in blood etched itself into your memory, leaving a profound scar. Back to home, you couldn't shake off the haunting image of the crime scene. You went straightly towards your room when Jungkook was already present, so you locked yourself in the washroom. On the other hand, Mark on call. Hello, his assistant. Sir, someone killed Lily. Mark shocked. What? The revelation hit Mark like a tidal wave. leaving him stunned and breathless. Knowing that Vine was aware of Lily's death, he rushed to her room, driven by the urgency to share the heartbreaking news. Mark breathing heavily. Where is Vine? Jungkook confused and concerned. In the washroom? But why are you asking? Mark breathing heavily. Jungkook, Lily. Lily got killed. Someone killed Lily. Jungkook's world shattered in that moment. Shock, hurt, and confusion played across his features as he tried to comprehend the magnitude of the tragedy. The news of Lily's murder, delivered in Mark's desperate voice, pierced through the room, leaving an indelible mark on everyone present. As they awaited your return, the room echoed with unspoken emotions, leaving an undescribable heaviness that lingered in the air like a haunting melody. Mark left the room. When he went downstairs, Mr. John, Mrs. John, and Sarah also got to know about Lily's murder from the news. Sarah, grief expression. Mark, how did this happen? Mark, I don't have any idea. Sarah, where is Unni? She went to meet her, right? Mark, yes, she is now in her room. She is so hurt and shocked about this. Lily and Vine were so good friends, or I should say like sisters. Lily's death really hit Vine hard. Mrs. John worried. We should go and try to console her. She must be so depressed. Sarah, Mom, leave her alone for some time and then you can go. Mrs. John, no Sarah, she needs us now. At this time she needs someone. By saying this, Mrs. John went to your room and you were locking yourself in the washroom. Mrs. John, Jungkook, where is Vine? Jungkook, she is in the washroom. Mrs. John knocked the door of the washroom. Vine, Vine. When you didn't answer, she got worried. Mrs. John, Jungkook, she is not answering. What if she... Jungkook worried. Mom, what are you saying? When you suddenly opened the door, your face was all red, eyes were swollen. Mrs. John hugged you tightly. Mrs. John, Vine, are you fine? Look at yourself. Your face is all red. Don't cry. You were still not properly in your senses, as you still need time to accept the situation. But when you looked at Mrs. John, she was so worried about you. Vine, I am fine, Mom. Don't worry. Mrs. John, yes, dear, don't worry. Police will find out the real murderer. And please, now don't cry. You nodded. She hugged you and again and left. Whereas Jungkook was worried for you, but before he could say anything, you went downstairs in the garden. Sat there on the ground alone. When Sarah saw you, he went to your room and Jungkook asked about you. So she helped Jungkook to come downstairs and left Jungkook in the garden. He was standing few steps back from you when Sarah left from there. You were talking to yourself, unaware of his presence, when Jungkook stood there listening to your conversation with yourself. Vine sobbing and looking at the sky. Why does this only happens to me? Huh? Whoever I love leaves me. Why am I that bad and undeserving? Jungkook was silently listening, his eyes becoming numb. Vine, Lily was the only one with whom I could share everything, my every happiness and grief, but you took her away from me. Firstly, I loved Cookie. He was my world, and then he also broke up with me. I even tried to move on, but I can't. I am still stuck there. And now, after so much time, we finally met, and that too in different circumstances. We both are together, but not emotionally. Am I really so bad? Why all of this happens to me? My best friend is not with me anymore. There is no one now who cares for me, with whom I can talk and share my feelings. Why don't I deserve to be loved, huh? You said all this while crying, and Jungkook was standing behind. Tears escaped from his eyes after listening to all this. Vine, I am the problem, right? I am the problem in everybody's life, right? That's why they leave me. So why don't you kill me? You said all this while sobbing. When Jungkook heard these words, he quickly ran in your direction. His stick fell down and hugged you tightly. You were confused and surprised by his sudden action, but you also hugged him out of emotions, and tears escaped from your eyes. Jungkook, what are you saying, Vine? Huh? Do you know what you are saying? I am here with you, so why are you thinking all negative? Don't you dare to say all those words again. Tears rolled down from his cheeks, Vine in mind. Don't do like this, Cookie. You are giving me false hopes. Please, it hurts. It hurts when you say that you are here with me, but you love someone else. You broke the hug and he wiped your tears. Jungkook, don't worry, I will find out who was behind all this. Now don't cry, please. You wiped his tears gently and nodded when tears escaped from your eye again. Seeing him worrying for you reminded you of the same Cookie who used to love you and care for you. Jungkook was holding your hand when your tear fell on his hand. Jungkook concerned. Are you crying again, Winnie? You heard Winnie after so long from his mouth and a smile crept over your face. He used to call you Winnie and you used to call him Cookie. Wine. No, I'm not. Let's go inside. It's cold. Jungkook nodded and you both went inside. Jungkook called someone. Jungkook, have you investigated about my case? Person on call. Yes, sir. I got your mail and please give me 2 to 3 days. I will find it out for sure. Jungkook. Alright. But before that case, I want you to handle another case. One of my friend got murdered last night. I want to know the murderer and everything. Please firstly find it out. Person. Yes, sir. Next day you woke up and saw him sleeping beside you. You were just looking at him, his calm face, soft skin. You got so lost in him and touched his face. When he opened his eyes, he didn't say anything as he knew it must be you. He recognized your touch. Your eyes widened as you noticed that he woke up. So you took your hand back and stood straight. Wine. Actually, your face. There was something on your face, so I was just clearing it. Jungkook stood up. Jungkook, it's okay and thanks for clearing my face. You quickly woke up and went to take bath and you decided to let Jungkook find out about your bestie Lily. You were feeling little better and you went to Lily's funeral. After coming back from the funeral, you were feeling really heavy after meeting her mom. She was crying so loud and you couldn't control your tears by seeing her condition. You comforted her and after everything you went back home. In funeral, Jungkook and Mark was also present. When you went to the balcony to take some fresh air, you were sitting there and thoughts about Lisa, her body covered with blood, all these pictures were coming in front of you when you decided to stay strong. Vine looking at the sky. Lisa, I know you are seeing us. And you know I am so angry with you. I hate you for leaving us. Have you seen your mom's condition? She was devastated. She was madly crying. How can you do this? But leave it. I will not talk to you. But yeah, I will surely find out about your murderer and will punish him as hard as I could. But that doesn't mean that I forgive you for leaving. I will never forgive you for that. By saying this, a tear dropped from your eye when Sarah came. She tried to comfort you and you both even talked a lot. She was trying her best to light up your mood and she even did it. You talked a lot and then she told you her secret too. Sarah, Unni, you know I love someone so much. Wine surprised and happy. Really? Who is that? Tell me. Sarah excitedly smiling and shy. Mark, she said while smiling. Wine. Wow, had you told him about your feelings? Sarah pouted. No, not yet, but soon someday I will. She smiled. You were also happy for her as Mark was a good person and your friend too. When you went to your room, you saw Jungkook rubbing his eyes. Wine concerned. Jungkook, what are you doing? Are you fine? Jungkook. Yeah, I'm fine, just feeling a little weird sensation in my eyes. Wine. Then we should call the doctor. Wait, let me call him. You were about to dial doctor's number when he stopped you. Jungkook. Wait. You looked at him confused. Jungkook. Dial this number. He gave you a piece of paper where a number was written. Vine. But this is not the doctor's number, Jungkook. Jungkook. Yes, this is of my new doctor. I was consulting him from last 2 months as I was little suspicious about my medicines and doctor because my condition was not getting better nor even a little bit. But when I talked to my doctor friend Dr. Park Jimin, then he analyzed my reports and told me that my condition is getting worse day by day. So he prescribed me medications and I am taking them from last 2 months. You were surprised. Why? But why would the doctor give you the wrong medicine? Jungkook, you don't know why. It's the mafia world and here we can't even trust our family. And trusting a doctor is so far. I have so many enemies. Maybe it's the plan of one of them. You looked at him and nodded in surprise. You quickly called the doctor and Jungkook told everything about his condition on phone to Dr. Park. And he told him a eye cream to apply and an eyedropper to put in eye. That's it. So you quickly ordered the medicine online. After some time when the medicine arrived, Vine, let me apply. Jungkook turned his face in your direction but didn't protested and let you apply. You applied the eye cream and put the eye drops. You helped him lay on the bed. Next day, Jungkook's POV. When I woke up and opened my eyes, I couldn't believe that I could see properly and I was watching the most beautiful view through my eyes. My Vine's face. It's been so long since I saw her beautiful face. She is looking like a cute baby sleeping peacefully. What a coincidence. When I lost my eyesight, the last person I saw was Vine. And now, after 1 year, when I got my eyesight back, now too the first person I saw is Vine. By thinking this, a smile crept on his face when you opened your eyes too. Vine's POV. I suddenly felt someone watching me when I opened my eyes. I saw Jungkook watching me when my eyes meet his. It was a long eye contact. I got lost in his beautiful deep eyes. No one from us was blinking. It was feeling like we were playing a game. Who will blink first will lose the game. When I suddenly blinked, sat straight on bed and Jungkook also stood up. I looked at him surprised as I realized that he was watching straight into my eyes. Did that mean that he can see? Vine. Jungkook, can you? Before you could finish the sentence, he spoke up, smiling and nodding. Jungkook. Yes, Vine, I can see you. I can see everything. When he said, while smiling, you know how he must be feeling. It was such a good news. He can finally see after so long. You got super happy and couldn't control your emotions and jumped towards him and hugged him tightly when he too hugged you. It was after so long you were hugging each other and it feels like home. It feels like all the problems of your life disappeared just by being in his embrace. It feels so safe in his arms, but soon you broke the hug and came to your senses. Vine smiling awkwardly. Congratulations and sorry for hugging you. It was just... Before you could finish, he covered your mouth with his hand. Jungkook. It's okay. And don't be sorry for it. You can hug me. It's not illegal, I guess. He said while smiling. You looked at him and nodded and spoke. Vine. Let's tell mom and dad about your eyesight. Jungkook serious. No. Please don't tell this thing to anyone. Not even my parents. I want to know something and I am suspicious about something. So when I will clear everything, only then we can tell this truth. Until then, let's behave like I am still blind. You looked at him and nodded. Time skips to afternoon. Jungkook got a call from his detective to talk about Lily's case. Detective. Hello sir, I found out about the murderer. Jungkook curious. Who's that? Detective told him the name of the person and sent all the details to him. And after hearing the name of the person, he got super triggered and shocked. When you were finding Jungkook because Mrs. John told you to call him for lunch but you couldn't find him, when you heard some noise from the basement, so you quickly went towards it. When you entered inside the basement, you saw something which shocked you. Your heart started beating so fast that you couldn't believe what you just saw, and quickly you ran towards its direction. Flashback. Jungkook on call. Who is it? Who killed Lily? Detective. It's Mark, sir. Jungkook's anger rose to its peak after knowing the truth about his best friend. He found out that his best friend killed Lily. But why? So to find it out, he ran towards the basement and called Mark there. When Mark came, Jungkook pointed his gun towards Mark. Mark shocked. Hey bro, calm down. What are you doing? I am Mark. Jungkook burning in anger. I can see that clearly, you murderer. Mark got shocked after hearing it. Mark. Jungkook, bro, you can see? Wow, that's amazing. But why are you calling me murderer? I didn't kill anyone. Jungkook's anger boiled. Shut your mouth or I will not hesitate to shoot you. I know the truth, you idiot. Mark. Oh, so finally you found out, huh? But Mr. Lazy Mafia, you learned the truth so late. And you can see now, but how? And when your eyesight come back, huh? Because according to my plan, doctor didn't prescribe you the correct medicine, I guess, right? So how can you see? Mark said all this so confidently and raised an eyebrow. Jungkook surprised. You did all this? Why? I said answer me. He shouted. Mark calmly. Oh, relax bro. I will tell you everything. But calm down first. And yeah, if you know the truth, then why are you asking me to say, alright fine, yeah I killed Lily. Because your smart wife, or I should say, my love which you stole from me, she got suspicious about your case and she told her detective friend Lily to find it out. And a really smart detective friend Miss Lily found out that I was the one who did the break fails. So I have to kill her. Because I can't let my plan to flop. Jungkook looked at Mark with so shocking expressions and in disbelief because he didn't knew that Mark was the one behind this accident. Jungkook, why? Why you did that? I didn't do anything wrong with you. I always considered you as my best friend. But you tried to kill me? Mark, best friend my foot. I never considered you as my friend. You were always my enemy. From the first day we met. And you stole the love of my life from me, my wine. The day I decided to propose her, you proposed her first and she became your girlfriend. And this was a very small reason, I know. But the main reason behind everything I did was he stopped as he heard some footsteps. Mark, what are you doing, Jungkook? How can you do this to me? Why can't you trust me? I was always loyal to you and you? He started acting like an innocent person. Mark, I didn't did anything. You really have two sides. You behave so nice in front of your family and wine, but your real side only I know. You can kill anyone. I just fought with you a little and you are trying to kill me. What if someday wine fought with you? You can even kill her. You can't love someone truly. Jungkook was shocked by his words. He didn't knew what he was saying when he heard his name. Present. As you entered the basement, your eyes widened in horror at the sight before you. You shouted Jungkook's name as you heard Mark and saw Jungkook pointing the gun in Mark's direction. You ran towards Mark when Jungkook told you to leave. Vine worried and disbelief. What are you doing, Jungkook? Are you out of your mind? Jungkook trying to control his anger. Vine, I said you don't know anything. What's going on? So just leave. It's not safe. Mark, safe? Yeah, Vine, it's not safe for you. He can even kill you. Jungkook's anger boiled and he shot Mark on his shoulder. Your eyes widened and you got so scared when you looked at Mark. He was laying down on the floor, holding his shoulder and hissing in pain. You quickly called the ambulance when you looked at Jungkook in anger, afraid and disbelief. By hearing the sound of gunshot, whole family came in the basement and got shocked after seeing the horrible view. Tear escaped from Sarah's eyes as he ran towards Mark and put his head in her lap. She was crying so much after seeing him in pain. When ambulance came, but Jungkook told not to send him to hospital, but Sarah protested against Jungkook. Jungkook angrily shouted, Sarah, I said leave him. He's a murderer. He's dangerous. Sarah, crying and angry, shouted, I will not listen to you. You are dangerous, not he. By saying this, she left. But Jungkook's man held Sarah as Jungkook told them not to let Sarah go. But ambulance took Mark with them and Jungkook held your hand and took you towards your room. When Sarah found a chance to run and she ran towards ambulance and went with Mark. When Jungkook took you towards your room, whine, leave my hand. You are heartless, Jungkook. You were not like this before. What happened to you now? How can you hurt someone, especially your best friend? Jungkook was already frustrated by all the truth he had heard from Mark, and he was so triggered at this point, so he didn't want to talk much as he don't want to hurt you out of anger. But you were just talking and being stubborn to go and see Mark when Jungkook shouted, Jungkook, whine, shut up. When you turned silent after seeing him with such a scary expressions, and Jungkook quickly noticed your expressions. Jungkook, I'm sorry. By saying this, he locked you in the room and went downstairs because he knows that you are so stubborn and will try to escape. When he reached down, he noticed that Sarah was not there when one of his men told him. Mark ran after reaching the hospital and Sarah ma'am was also with him. We just checked the CCTV of the hospital. After hearing this, everybody in the house got worried about Sarah when Jungkook told the truth to Mr. and Mrs. John about his accident and Lily's murder, and he even told everyone that his eyesight came back and he can see. Mr. and Mrs. John got happy about it but also worried about Sarah. He quickly tried to track Sarah's phone but she left it at home and Mark's phone location was off, but still he told his men to find out about him. He tried whole day to find out but couldn't found any clue. He was so stressed and worried about Sarah. When he went back to room at night and opened it when you were sitting on the bed doing something on the phone and don't even looked at Jungkook. Jungkook, come down, let's eat something. You must be hungry and by the way, I'm sorry for locking you here. You were still ignoring him. Jungkook noticed it. Why are you ignoring me? Wyan looked at Jungkook. Huh? Did you said anything? Jungkook sighed. Jungkook, yeah, come and have dinner. Wyan, I actually had my dinner already. Jungkook confused. Huh? How? Wyan pointed towards her mouth. From here. Jungkook chuckled. Jungkook, haha, so funny. I'm serious, Wyan. Wyan, then go to hospital. What are you doing here? Jungkook was now frustrated and laid down on the bed without saying anything. Wyan, did you eat anything? Jungkook spoke by keeping his eyes closed. Nope. You looked at him. Why so? Jungkook, don't have appetite. Wyan, Mom told me about Sarah. Jungkook hummed and you sighed and went downstairs. You took the plate of food and came to Jungkook. You put the plate on the table. Wyan, Jungkook, Jungkook. Wyan, yeah, wake up and talk to me properly. Jungkook, I am already answering you. Wyan, but see in my eyes and then speak. Jungkook opened his eyes and sat straight on the bed and you took food near him. Wyan, eat it. Jungkook looked at you. I told you I'm not hungry. Wyan, and I told you to eat. When you asked him to open his mouth and forcefully feed him the food, when Jungkook was just staring at you silently and eating. Jungkook, you should also eat something. Wyan, I told you that I already ate. Jungkook, but how? I mean, I locked you here. You looked at him. Jungkook, you are heartless, but not your mom. She unlocked the room and gave me food. We both ate here and then she told me about everything, even about your accident. And don't worry, I know Sarah will be fine because she have you as her brother and you will save her. But for that you need energy, so eat properly. Jungkook looked at you that how you were behaving so normally even after knowing everything about Mark, about Lily's murder, and that how you were strong. But before he could say anything, you spoke. Wyan, I'm sorry for shouting at you and not trusting you. But it was just so weird and unbelievable for me to know that Mark killed my bestie, and when I saw you pointing the gun at Mark, I was really scared, and when you shot him, it was more shocking. At that time, you were looking so scary, like you can kill anyone who will come in front of you. I have never seen you like this. I never seen someone got shot in front of my eyes in my whole lifetime. And when I saw it, I was so scared. I was even scared of you. Jungkook took the plate from your hand and put it aside and held your hand when your heart started beating so fast. Jungkook, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for scaring you. But trust me, I will never hurt you again. Killing is so far. And the girl which Sarah used to mention was none other than you. This was what I wanted to tell you. She knew that I loved a girl, but she didn't saw her. You felt so good after hearing this, but you tried to behave cool, like it never bothered you, and you don't care. Wine. I don't. You were going to say when Jungkook spoke. Jungkook, I know you care, and stop lying about your feelings. You can't lie to me. Always remember this. You were just looking at him and your heart started beating fast as he came closer to you. Jungkook, do you love me, Vine? Your heart skipped a beat and you gulped after hearing him. Jungkook, tell me, he said while looking deep into your eyes. Your and his face were just inches apart and you were feeling like your heart will come out today. His breath brushed over your face. Vine, you hesitated to speak when you stood up. Vine took a deep breath. I don't care, and I don't love you. I just hate you. You said while seeing in other direction. Jungkook chuckled. Jungkook smiled. Your hate loves me, Viney. You know. You quickly laid down on the bed and closed your eyes. Your heart was beating so fast. Jungkook also laid down, but after around 10 minutes, you sat up and called him, but he was already asleep. Vine, should I wake him up? Yeah, I should, because what if I forget to tell him this? You called him and he woke up while rubbing his eyes. Jungkook, yeah, what happened, Vine? Do you need anything? Vine, yes, I want to tell you something. Jungkook sat straight on the bed and looked at you. Jungkook, what do you want to say? Tell me. Wait, do you want to confess your feelings? You hit his arm lightly and looked at him seriously when he also turned serious. Vine, I just wanted to tell you that Sarah was in love with Mark. Jungkook got surprised. Jungkook, Sarah told you this? You nodded. Jungkook, that's why she was behaving like that. I was also feeling suspicious that why she is behaving so crazy for Mark. By telling him this, you laid down and Jungkook looked at you, confused. Jungkook, only this? Vine, yeah, only this. Now don't disturb me. I'm feeling sleepy. Good night. By saying this, you slept. Jungkook thinking, was I disturbing? She was the one who disturbed me. Oof, this girl is still the same. Drama queen. By saying this, he also laid down and slept. Next day, Mark called Jungkook. Mark, hey bro, what's up? I hope you're boiling your blood, right? Jungkook angry and worried. Shut up and tell me where is Sarah. Mark, oh wait, I'm telling you, why are you always so desperate, huh? Acha, now listen, come to Dash place, but don't show any smartness, alright? Otherwise you know your pretty fool sister is with me, and if I can kill my friend, that I can kill this girl too. Jungkook, don't you dare to touch my sister, otherwise you know what I can do. Mark, I can dare to do anything I like, bro. So just keep your voice low in front of me. By saying this, Mark cut the call and Jungkook get ready with his guns and his team to go to save Sarah. When you came, Vine, are you going somewhere? Jungkook, yes, to save my sister from the devil. Vine worried, are you going alone? It must be dangerous. Jungkook held your shoulder. I am going on a mission with my team to rescue my sister. And don't worry, I used to go to more dangerous missions in college time. I will be fine. By saying this, he went towards the door when you spoke. Vine, take care. He looked at you and gave you a reassuring smile. You were feeling so scared and worried for him. When Jungkook went to the address, he saw Mark and they started fighting. When Mark's men also came and surrounded Jungkook. When Jungkook's team also came from behind and they all fight, Mark somehow escaped from there and Jungkook got shot on his shoulder. During the fight, Jungkook's team tried to follow Mark but failed and came back home. When you saw Jungkook, your eyes widened by seeing his shirt full of blood. Your heart skipped a beat and you ran towards him. You quickly called the doctor. Mr. and Mrs. John already slept as it was too late. Wine, shocked and worried. Are you fine? Wait, let me bring something. But what should I bring? Why doctor is taking so long? You took a piece of cloth and put it on his shoulder to stop the blood as you don't know anything about first aid. Wine, worried and panicking. Jungkook, blood is not stopping. It must be painful, right? Why can't you take care of yourself properly? Are you a kid? What the hell? Wait, let's go to hospital. Come. Jungkook was sitting on the bed and was smiling from inside by seeing you. Jungkook, I'm fine, Wine. Don't panic. Wine still panicking. Don't panic? Really? You just came in front of me with body covered with blood and how can I not panic? When doctor came and started treating him, when he removed his shirt, his shoulder and chest was covered with blood and you turned your face in another direction because you can't see him covered with blood. Firstly, he was wearing a dark shirt in which blood was not much visible. Doctor treated him and everything. Doctor, he is totally fine. As the bullet just passed, it don't get inside the body. You nodded when Jungkook and doctor both were looking at your worried face. Doctor, Jungkook, you're really lucky to have a wife like her who is so worried about you. Doctor laughed and went from there. Jungkook smiled and said, I am really lucky, no doubt. Right, Wine? Jungkook looked at you smiling. Jungkook, why were you so worried? Wine, why are you talking stupid, huh? You just got shot. How should I behave? Should I dance that wow you got shot today? Jungkook chuckled. Jungkook, why do you care, huh? You said you don't care about me. Why? I do. I obviously don't care, but I'm a good human. That's why I got worried by seeing another human injured. That's it. Jungkook in mind. Really stubborn, Wine. You are really stubborn. Jungkook. Alright. You looked at him when you saw him making serious face and looking in another direction. Wine thinking, did I hurt him? Yes, maybe. Jungkook, what if I go to mission and got injured again? You looked at him with seriously worried expressions. Wine angry and worried. Are you out of your mind? What rubbish are you speaking? You know what? Just do one favor. Keep your mouth shut because whenever you open your mouth, you just speak rubbish. Jungkook looked at you with blank face and then sadly laid down on bed without uttering anything and slept. Wine thinking, he is really heartless. Did he know how it feels when someone you love leaves you? Did he know how it feels to see your loved ones hurt? Idiot. If he knows that I love him, that's why he tries to hurt me. You laid down and tried to sleep, but you were thinking that maybe you hurted him by your words. Whereas, he was smiling on the other side because he was acting to be serious so that you could express your feelings for him. Jungkook POV. If you are a drama queen, then I am also a drama king. I learned acting from my wife. He smiled and slept. Next day you went to your office when a car stopped in front of your car and Mark came out from it. You got so shocked and scared after seeing him and he took his gun out and shot the front mirror of the car. You started shaking as it was so terrifying. You were calling Jungkook when another car came and stopped behind your car and Mr. Jeon came out from it. He took his gun out and pointed at Mark. When Mark quickly shot Mr. Jeon at his hand and gun fell down and Mark took you forcefully in his car with him. When Jungkook got to know about your kidnap, he quickly told his men to track your phone because he wasn't able to track Sarah and Mark so he can track you by your phone. He tracked your location and went there with his team. When he reached at the location, he told his men to stay outside and come in when he will say. And he went inside and saw you and Sarah tied on the chair and quickly Mark's men came and attacked Jungkook. He fought with them well, but he was alone, so his men held Jungkook tightly when Mark smirked at him. Mark, welcome, welcome, Mr. Mafia, he said while giving a devil smile. Jungkook angry and trying to free himself. Hey, just leave both of them. You are my enemy. You wanted revenge from me, so do whatever you want with me, but leave them. They have nothing to do with you. Mark started laughing. Oh, you don't even know the reason why I want revenge, do you? You were looking at Jungkook, who was sweating, and looking at Mark in such a way that he will kill Mark at any time. You noticed the sharp edges of the chair you were sitting, so you called Sarah as she was sitting closer to you and pointed towards the sharp edges. You both started trying to free yourself when Mark was busy in talking with Jungkook. Mark, wait, let me tell you the truth first. You know, I'm not really your enemy. This is all happening because of your father. You, Sarah and Jungkook looked at him surprised and curious. Mark serious and angry. I am the son of Logan Lee, the Mafia. Jungkook, I don't know any Logan Lee. Mark bitterly chuckled. How will you know? Your father killed him when I was just 9 years old. Jungkook looked at him shocked, curious and in disbelief. Mark, your father and my father were good friends. But I don't know what happened when your father killed my dad. How can someone kill his own friend? Jungkook was shocked because he don't know anything about this. Jungkook, I don't know anything about all this. And just like you killed your friend, you tried to kill me and now you're kidnapping my wife and my sister. You're also not doing something right. Mark angry. Shut up. I have learnt all this from your dad, alright? And you are also not less from him. You took away the person I loved, and I faked that I am going to US in college. I was here, and when you were going to meet Wine, I thought it's the perfect time for killing you, so I did your car brake fails. But unfortunately you survived. But a good news was that you lost your eyesight and did break up with mine. And when I talked to doctor about it, he told me that if you will take medicine, your eyesight will come back in less than 1 month. But I knew that if it happens, I will not be able to take my revenge. So I gave doctor a good amount of money to give you wrong medicines. Mark, I wanted your father to suffer by seeing you in this condition. I even told your detective not to do anything, and from last year I was having an eye on everything going on in Wine's life. And when finally I thought that maybe after this much time she may have moved on from you, so I decided to propose her and to meet her. Unfortunately, my uncle got sick, so I had to move to US for a week, and when I returned, I saw that again you snatched her from me and got married. You were shocked to know that he was behind you, and whatever was he saying, you were trying to process it when Jungkook was just staring at Mark. Mark smirking. And a good thing was your sister. This foolish girl fall in love with me. I heard her saying this to Wine in the balcony. So I need to take it as advantage. You and Sarah got free from rope and you quickly snatched the gun from Mark's hand as he was having no idea about you and was talking to Jungkook. When Mark quickly held you tightly and took the gun and held you from back by tightening his grip on you and pointed his gun at your head. Jungkook's eyes widened and told Sarah with eye contact to move out from there and call his team. So Sarah ran outwards. Mark, hey baby girl, don't try to be oversmart. Jungkook shouted in anger. Leave her, you devil. If a single scratch came on her body, I swear I will kill you on the spot. Mark Devil laughed. Oh, really? Then try it out. Wait, let me firstly give her a scratch. He took the blade from the table and scratched it on your arm. When you tightly closed your eyes, out of light pain, Jungkook's eyes widened and then his team came and one of the men shot Mark on his leg. When his grip on you loosened and you ran in Jungkook's direction, the men who were holding Jungkook were killed by his team and Jungkook quickly took his gun and shot Mark on the spot and he died. Sarah came and her eyes turned teary after seeing Mark shot, but she didn't say anything. Jungkook hugged you and Sarah tightly. but didn't say anything and went to home. Mr. and Mrs. John came toward Sarah and hugged her. Mrs. John got emotional and Sarah started crying. She apologized to them. Mr. John came towards you. Mr. John, I'm sorry, Vine. I couldn't save you. Vine comforting. It's okay, Dad. Don't be sorry. And how's your hand now? Mr. John, it's fine now. Doctor did the bandage. When Jungkook asked about Logan leave from his dad, he told that Logan and Mr. John were best friends, but he betrayed him and shook his hand with his enemy just to get more profit. So when Mr. John got to know, he killed him. When you and Jungkook went towards your room, he locked the room, made you sit on the bed without uttering any word, and took the first aid box, bent down on his knees, and started treating your wound silently. You looked at him, but he didn't say anything. He was keeping his head low and treating your wound when you felt a drop of tear on your arm. You looked at him, but he didn't pick up his head. Vine concerned. Jungkook? He didn't look up and continued doing bandage. Vine. Jungkook, are you crying? He shook his head as no when you cupped his face and made him look in your eyes, and you saw his cheeks wet out of crying. You quickly wiped his tears, made him sit on the bed beside you. Vine. Why are you crying, Mr. Mafia? You should be happy that all of us are fine and Sarah also came back. You have different kind of mood swings. Firstly, you were angry, then you started crying. Jungkook looked at you and held your hand. Jungkook. I'm sorry, Vine. Your life was in danger because of me. I'm really sorry. You looked at him and realized that he is really sensitive and emotional when it comes to his loved ones. Vine trying to change the mood because you know he is being emotional. Yeah, it's okay. I have a big heart. I forgive you. But you have to cook my favorite ramen for me. Jungkook looked at you and chuckled. Jungkook nodding. Yeah, sure, I will. Vine. Good. You have to. You have no other option. You both smiled when your mom called you. Jungkook went to take bath and fresh his mind, and you started talking to your mom. Mrs. Kim on call. Hello, Vine. How are you? Vine. I'm fine. How are you? Mrs. Kim. I'm also fine. I just called you to invite both of you for tomorrow. Vine. Tomorrow? Why? Where? Mrs. Kim. Yeah, Vine, you forgot tomorrow is mine and your dad's wedding anniversary. Vine realizing. Oh, I remember, Mom. I was just joking. Mrs. Kim. Really? Don't lie. I know you forgot. But leave all this. You have to come. I even called Mrs. John to invite, but she apologized and said that she can't come because of Mr. John's hand and she is also having fever. So you and Jungkook need to come for sure. Alright? Vine. Yeah, sure. By saying this, you cut the call. When Jungkook came outside, you told him about it. Next day, time skips to night. You both were getting ready for party when you were doing the makeup and Jungkook looked at you and started smiling when you noticed it. Vine. Why are you smiling? Jungkook. It's nothing. Can't I smile? Vine. Yeah, but you were smiling while seeing me. That's why I asked. Jungkook. I was just seeing your expressions while applying makeup. It is looking so funny. You looked at him. Vine. What's funny in this? Jungkook took the makeup brush from the table and started doing your acting. Jungkook. You do like this. You glared at him when he started laughing. Vine. Oh hello, you are doing overacting. You took your phone and went downstairs and smiled at his acting when Jungkook ran behind you and you both went to party. Your outfit. When you entered, you both greeted your parents and gave them gifts. When after cake cutting, everybody started doing couple dance, when you both also started doing. In the gentle sway of the soft melody, your eyes met, speaking volumes of unspoken emotions. With hand delicately placed on his shoulder and his arm enveloping you in a warm embrace, you melted into each other's presence. The music wrapped around you like a cocoon, enclosing you in a world where only your love exists. Lost in the depth of his gaze, you felt a surge of emotions coursing through you, overwhelming yet comforting in his intensity. Every touch, every glance spoke of a bond stronger than words could ever convey, and as the music continued to play, you danced to the rhythm of your hearts, immersed in the timeless magic of your love. Jungkook gently. I love you, Vine. I really love you. You looked at him, your heart started racing, but before you say anything, the music stopped and you took back your hands from his shoulder and backed off. When time skips and you both went back home, Jungkook went to his room and you were also going, but you saw Sarah in the balcony. So you went to her. She was all silent and you put hand on her shoulder and she flinched when you both sat and you knew that she is sad after all that happened. You both talked and you tried to comfort her when she started crying. Sarah, I just wanted to be truly loved, but I guess I was asking too much. Vine, you were never asking too much. You were just asking the wrong person. Give yourself time to heal and consider yourself lucky that the man like Mark is not with you. Otherwise, he could have made your life hell. You have got another chance, Sarah, so be strong. She looked at you and smiled and nodded and hugged you tightly. Sarah, thank you, Ni, and I will surely try my best to forget everything that happened. You both smiled and you went from there. When you entered in the room, Jungkook held you by the wrist, closed the door and pinned you to the wall. Wine widened eye. What are you doing? Jungkook smiled. You didn't reply in the party of what I said. Vine, what you said? I forgot. Leave me. Jungkook, I love you, Vine, and I'm sorry for the past. Vine, why you broke up after you lost your eyesight? Why you sent me away when you needed me the most? Why Jungkook, why? You punched him lightly on his chest and a tear fell from your eyes when he hugged you tightly. Jungkook, I'm sorry. I thought that maybe I wouldn't be able to take my responsibilities and I don't wanted to bother you. But I'm sorry. I know I did wrong. Please forgive me. Please. You backed off from the hug and kissed him in a tender moment filled with unspoken emotions. You mustered the courage to lean in and press your lips softly against his. He was taken aback at first but soon melted into the gentle embrace of your kiss. It was a fleeting yet profound moment, each touch conveying a depth of feelings beyond words. As your lips met in a delicate dance of affection, the world around you faded away, leaving only the warmth of your connection. Vine smiling. I love you too, Jungkook. I love you so much. Jungkook's smile widened and he hugged you tightly. Despite the numerous obstacles we faced along our journey, we emerged victorious, our love stronger than ever before. With each challenge we overcame, our bond deepened, solidifying our commitment to one another. As we stood hand in hand, gazing into a future brimming with hope and promises, a sense of peace washed over us. In the years that followed, we built a life together, filled with laughter, adventure, and unwavering support. Together, we chased our dreams and conquered our fear, celebrating each triumph and weathering every storm as a united front. With each passing day, our love only grew stronger, a beacon of light guiding us through life's twists and turns. As we looked ahead to the years to come, we knew that no matter what challenges lay in store, we could face them together, hand in hand, our hearts forever intertwined in a love that knew no bounds. Our happy ending was not just a conclusion to our story, but the beginning of a new chapter filled with infinite possibilities and boundless love. I truly believe that soulmates will always end up together, no matter how much love got lost, no matter how much distance there was. If it's meant to be, it will be. You lose each other just to find each other again. That's how you know someone's meant for you. If two people are meant to be together, they will eventually find their way back into each other's arms, no matter what. If you really love that person, learn to wait. Maybe you are not meant to be together for today, but meant to be in future. Moral: marry a man who wants to be a husband, not someone who just wants a wife. Being married or committed to one person is a beautiful thing. Don't let these folks tell you a lie. Ain't nothing better than having a soulmate, best friend, lover, and a protector in one person. A guy can make you think he loves you even if he don't, but a girl can make you think she don't loves you even if she do. I really hope you like this series. Do tell me your reviews in comments and subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon to stay updated. More interesting FF series and one-shots are coming next, so don't miss any of them. Like the video if you like this series and share it with your friends.